Hey girls, today we're talking about how to become hot mentally. Because you might think that the only thing you need is a glow up. You need to change your hair, change your makeup, change your skincare. You need to change everything in your wardrobe. But nothing's gonna change till you change your mind. And that's what we're here to talk about today. Because truly, the key to being hot, the key to being that girl, the key to being irresistible to the universe is doing a little bit of mental work. And I'm gonna list a couple things that you need to master and work on to become the hottest mental version of yourself. And sometimes being hot doesn't mean being nice, just letting you know. And when you become hot mentally, the looks will follow, girl. It's in the energy. You could literally be wearing a plastic bag over your body, over your face. It don't matter if you think you weigh a little too much, a little too little, if you think that this and this is wrong with you. When the mentality changes, things will change in your mindset. And a lot of the times, things will also start to shift physically. The first thing you're gonna have to get over, girl, if you want to be mentally hot, is your victim mentality. Are you the type of girl who always blames everything on your narcissistic ex, your mother, whoever's around you, that girl over there, that guy over there, talking about how everything is always going wrong for you? And it can't be your fault because you're flawless. The victim mentality is actually more prevalent than we think, especially among baddies, or I would like to say pre-baddies, potential baddies, because I do not believe that you can truly be a baddie if you believe that everyone else is the problem and you're not willing to look into yourself and be retrospective. I am someone who grew up struggling with a victim complex. And a victim complex, I will tell you, it does usually stem from you feeling like you need to people please everyone around you. If you're someone who's neurodivergent, you're very prone to developing a victim complex, and you're very prone to making that victim complex centered all around the fact that you're neurodivergent. People don't like neurodivergence. While in reality, the victim complex actually stems from you being an overcompensator, an oversharer, a people please, because you grew up in a household where your emotional needs were not met. And now that you're in adulthood where you can actually work on yourself and not choose to be around those people that will make you do that, you still choose to gravitate towards them because that's what your nervous system has been programmed to do. And you cannot understand why things always happen like that. And your rationale is that it's not your fault, it must be them. While in reality, energy will always attract energy that matches. So if you're attracting narcissistic people, people that are mean to you, people that do you wrong, it is because there's something within you that make those people attracted to you. And if you're constantly talking about how everyone is against you, everyone hates me because I'm neurodivergent, I was just never treated right. The universe will make you not be treated right until you realize that whatever it is you're speaking is you speaking it into reality. This is literally the law of attraction. Whatever you focus on, you will get more of. And that's why the victim complex develops when you become an adult, because a lot of the times when you are a kid, you are actually the victim because you can't change your circumstances. You have to survive. So the victimhood becomes a survival mechanism. But when you become an adult, it will no longer function and it will no longer bring you what you truly need. And that's why it becomes a victim mentality. And you cannot snap out of this unless you can become comfortable with the fact that there are probably not going to be anyone who's going to give you justice. The only person who's going to give you justice is going to be you. And the way you give yourself justice is being honest about the fact that you have a victim complex. And whenever it is you want to speak energy into everything going wrong for you, you catch yourself. It's not about being perfect, because if you've been stuck in that pattern for years and years and years, it's going to be hard to snap out of. It's about being aware of the pattern first and foremost. You cannot become a baddie if you don't realize that, because your reality will literally just be bad. It will not be baddie reality if you are constantly focusing on everything that's going wrong around you, because that's literally the law of attraction. Whatever it is you put your attention to, energy flow towards, and that's why you get all these bad people in your life, and that's why you get drained. The second thing you have to master to become mentally hot is having extremely strong boundaries. And as a neurodivergent girly who likes to make things systematic to make me be able to live by it, because I like rules. Apparently rules are just fun until they aren't. Like my mom always said, you like breaking the rules, which is confusing for me because I like rules at the same time as the fact that I don't want to follow the rules. But anyways, if you are a girly, one thing that can be very good for you is to sit down and write things that are non-negotiables for you in an app, in the note app. What are non-negotiables for friendships? What are non-negotiables for relationships, dating? What are non-negotiables for interacting with strangers? When you are on the road to becoming a baddie, to becoming mentally hot, you have to understand that there's going to be a period of time where you're probably going to have to cut yourself from a lot of the people that you're talking to on the regular so that you can build your energy and become the baddest, the coolest, the best version of yourself. Because you're not going to be able to become that when you're constantly around people that are not willing to go that way either. What's going to happen though when you start taking away your energy from people is that they're going to start nagging you. And that can even happen when you're meeting strangers, when you're talking to people, in a store. I've had that happen to me a lot. Men could come up to you in public, try to talk to you. And yes, that includes dating too. You need to take yourself off the market a little bit if you want to be the baddie that you deserve to be. The reason why I always say it's a good idea to have like a non-negotiables list in your phone is because it just makes it more easy for you to understand whenever someone crosses a boundary if you actually have them written down. A lot of the times the lines are blurry and it's hard to figure out whether something is a red flag or it's a behavior we want to go along with unless we've written it down like, I'm not dealing with this. So that's why I recommend that. But you also have to become very, very comfortable with being the mean girl. And I always like to use this example because I think it's actually a perfect example. And a lot of people get mad at me for using this example, but I don't care. I think it's a good example. A great analogy for what happens to you as a hot girl if you do not have boundaries, or if you're not at least someone who is better at vetting people, is that you will have an encounter of what people call destiny swapping, because you will literally be someone that people want to become. That's what happens when you're a gorgeous, gorgeous girl. People want to become you. And that is why when people say that they hate Regina George and the way that she behaved, I think that's kind of unjustified. And you can have whatever opinion you have, and definitely she was not the nicest person. But Regina George was the queen bee of the school. Of course, she was selective with the people that she kept around her, because if people came too close to her, they would literally sabotage her. And that's exactly what we see with Katie coming into the circle. Regina does not anticipate that Katie would be a threat, but Katie discovers the power that Regina holds because she's the baddie, and she tries to destiny swap with her to the point where at the end of the movie, suddenly Regina realizes that her energy has actually shifted and now Katie is the one in power. That's called destiny swapping. And Regina George was fooled by the idea that Katie was a new girl, so she probably was harmless. But it can happen in real life too. It usually does happen when you become a better version of yourself and you start trying to hang around new people because you want to get people that are on your level, on your frequency. Of course, you're going to try to seek out people that can fit into the world that you've created for yourself now. But the fact that you're seeking and you might not even have thought about, okay, what are some things that I don't tolerate, that will make you an easier target for destiny swapping, because first and foremost, your energy is going to be open. It's going to be like, okay, I want people into my life, men, friends, whatever. And second of all, your energy has probably jumped from down here to up here. So it's like a big reveal of energy, and people are going to swarm to that, especially the people that want to sabotage you. They kind of see you as a firework or a burning light bulb. Like, they want to turn you off. They want to see you go off so that they can feel the energy. They want the bang, the boom, which is why boundaries are key to being mentally that girl. Next thing you're going to have to master if you want to be that girl mentally is you're going to have to embrace imperfections. A lot of the times when it comes to being a better version of ourselves or becoming that girl, looks maxing ourselves, especially when you're trying to become hotter, cooler, we go to the internet and we find someone and we want to try to look like them exactly. We want to get to that result so quick, and we feel like if we don't get there fast enough, everything is not going to be worth it. And that strive for perfection, or especially the strive to be the version of yourself that you have created in your head, is actually robbing you of the version of yourself that is in your heart. That was very cute and poetic, wasn't it? When you create an image of exactly what you want to be, and I'm not opposed to having inspiration. Inspiration is great. Inspiration is amazing, especially when it comes to like creating your look, becoming the hot version of yourself that you deserve to be, exploring new things, all of this and all of that is absolutely great. Inspiration is great, but trying to emulate something so much that you actually don't get to see all of the options of becoming you that are out there is robbing you of so much. And the perfection comes in when we talk about trying to be perfect so much that we forget that the journey to becoming the baddie, the hot girl, is actually what makes you the hot girl. I've had so many phases in my life. I've had black hair, I've had blonde hair, I've had red hair, I think. I've had blue hair. I used to have like the e-girl style. I've been really into streetwear. I've been really like, oh my God, I'm never gonna dye my hair again. I'm gonna grow my hair out. That was me. Like, if you asked me 6 months ago, oh yeah, what are you gonna do with your hair? Would you ever do something to your hair? I'll be like, no, I'm growing it out. I'm keeping it healthy. The one thing I've learned to embrace about myself as I've become older is I am consistently inconsistent. And that does not mean that I'm the type of person who shows up like an hour after the function starts. I'm the type of person who shows up 15 minutes before. Believe me, if you go on holiday with me, we'll be in the airport 5 hours before the flight. I am that type of person. I'm consistently inconsistent when it comes to deciding who I want to be. And when you grow up in a society that's very adamant about you deciding whoever you want to be at a very young age, like, okay, you're 18, now you got to figure out everything you want to do, who you want to be, then people get very uncomfortable when you like to switch things up every 6 months or every week or whatever you want to do. And just because they can't keep up with that does not mean that you have to try to fit yourself into the perfect mold of what perfection means. Because perfection is actually just realizing that you are perfect as you are, but that does not mean that you can't be more, do different, be something you want to be. Perfect is not having completely perfect hair that is the same length all over, having the perfect Instagram face, having the perfect body, the perfect skin. And it's definitely not about making sure that the journey is perfect, because perfection does not exist. You are perfect as you are, but the perfection of trying to make sure that you meddle the journey into whatever it needs to be will literally rob you of you becoming the coolest version of yourself. If I had never gone and decided I want to massacre my hair, I want to bleach my hair, I would not have gotten to the point where I had reflected so much upon why I want to change things, how does that make me feel, exploring things I haven't explored in a long time. I used to cover my tattoos up all the time, not that long ago. And now I like to wear them out more. Maybe I'll double back to wearing them out less. Maybe in a while you'll see me with dark hair again. We're not here to make the journey perfect. We're here to experience the journey. And if experiencing the journey means you gotta do a couple little side quests, and those side quests are gonna leave a mark, let it be. Let it be. Perfectionism is so heavily related to control, and being a perfectionist is not something to be proud of. As someone who is a former perfectionist, I thought perfectionism was going to get me where I wanted to go, but in reality, it just burned me out. And it made me believe that I could control people, outcomes, if I just stressed myself out about it. The next thing you have to master to become a baddie mentally is you have to learn to de-center men. If you're someone who feels that they only have something to live for if they have a partner, this is the harsh way of saying it. You can also just be someone who feels like you want love. You will royally get played, and your energy will constantly get ciphered by men or people that want to be in your company because they know that you have baddie energy, or they know that you have potential baddie energy. And they do not want you to either realize that, or they want to use your already existing baddie energy for themselves. And if you're someone who's very centered around dating and you want to like have a man all the time, and the only thing that's on your mind is your man, and the only thing that's on your Instagram is your man, that is not baddie energy. I hate to say it like that. That is not baddie energy. And it will mentally wreck you, because you will be put in situations where you feel like you have to put whatever it is you have created first, instead of putting your energy into yourself. And I'm especially talking to you young girls, because I'm a young girl myself. I'm a young woman. Believe it or not, I'm so young that in like 10 years, these cheekbones are gonna be like so defined. It's crazy. No buccal fat removal needed. Like, I still have a little bit of baby face. Watch me in 10 years not have any of this happen to me, and I'm just like, anyways, I regress. If you're a young girl, we're talking like you're 25 or less, especially if you're like 18 or something. These years are here for you to explore. How I always like to see things is, okay, what season of Friends are you in? If you've ever watched Friends, that's a really good way to gauge like, oh, you know what? Things are not like that rushed, and I do not need to make my whole life about me being a good woman. Oh my God, I want to have a man. Think about Sex and the City. They're in their 30s and they are literally living their best single life. If you get too centered around men, if you're too young, you will literally be molded towards making men happy. There's nothing wrong with making your partner happy, but it will make you less prone to actually be able to pick up on red flags, and it will make you more critical of your own growth because you will feel like your own growth has to be molded towards how much of a good woman you can become. And then you will actually put yourself in the mold of patriarchy. You won't have time to explore your baddie lifestyle if you're constantly wondering like, oh my God, when am I gonna get a boyfriend? When am I gonna get a man? And if the only thing you can talk about your girlfriends with is boys, that's also a red flag, and it will make you less prone to be a baddie because a baddie is selfish. A baddie puts herself first. A baddie is her own main character. Whenever you talk about these men all of the time, you're literally making them the main character. And when you're obsessed with something, like obsessed with always having a man, you are just more prone to overlooking red flags because you're obsessed, you're blinded by the obsession. And if you're male-centered in a way where you feel like you can't be doing anything unless it involves men, or like being in situations where you have someone around you, which leads me to the next point. If you're someone who feels like you have to do everything with someone, if you can't do anything by yourself, if you don't have enough hobbies or things going on for yourself where you feel like, okay, you know what? If someone cancels on me, it's not the end of the world. If you feel like you need to be around people in order for you to be the best version of yourself, you're not the best version of yourself. You're not a baddie. You will never be a baddie because a baddie could do things on her own and feel like, you know what, if something gets canceled or whatever, she has something to do. She has hobbies, she has interests, she has her business going. That is true baddie behavior. Not being taken aback or like, oh my God. When someone is not going to show up or not going to want to do something, or you might have to go do something yourself, because it is an essential part of being an adult to be able to do things by yourself. You will always be trying to do something for everyone else if you don't learn how to do things for yourself. And that's what leads you to become a people pleaser. And you cannot be a people pleaser and be a baddie at the same time. Because when you're a people pleaser, you will literally always choose your idea of what you think people want over your actual idea of what you want. You will literally completely wash out your own wants and needs to anticipate what other people want, which you don't even know if they want. Which leads me to the next point that will make you a baddie. Not anticipating what people want and give it to them. Let people tell you what they want. And don't be trying to give people more things unless they tell you that they want it. Don't give people your energy unless they request it. Because if you become the type of person who's always showing up without people requesting it, you know, you're always sending paragraphs, sending texts, sending whatever, you will literally become the person whose energy is so easy to steal because you do not have those boundaries that I talked about in the beginning. It's setting you up for failure, big time. You might feel like you're a good person by trying to give more to people, like, oh my God, I'm gonna do all of this and all of that. There's, of course, moments where giving a little present or showing something unexpected is fine. But in general, don't anticipate people's needs. Let them tell you, because you don't need to waste your time trying to figure out what people want. If people can't tell you what they want, then why are you gonna try to make them figure that out? That's something they need to figure out with themselves, the same way that you need to figure that out with yourself. That leads me to the next point, which is you need to know what you want instead of constantly focusing on what you don't want. If you're constantly focusing on, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want this and people around me, I don't want to deal with this, I don't want to deal with that, then you're constantly actually gonna let that come into your life, because whatever it is you focus your attention onto will be brought into your life. That's where energy flows. That is law of attraction. So if you're constantly someone who's focused on, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't tolerate that, you're going to get more of it. It's the universe's way of showing to you how powerful the law of attraction is. That's why you run into bummy people, because you're constantly talking about how you don't want to be around bummy people. That's why the most powerful thing you can do is to start focusing on the things that you do want. Become very clear about what do you want in people around you? What do you want in a partner? What do you like in your life? What are things that you actually enjoy? What are things that you are into? What are your hobbies? What are things that make you happy? And if you only focus on seeing red flags, those are the only things you will see, and you will actually naturally gravitate towards them because they're the only things that stick out to you, which means you will put yourself in worse situations. Your energy will be ciphered and you will feel less like a baddie. And when you have your energy ciphered by people, then your cortisol will usually go up, and then you will be stressed and you can't feel like a baddie. But on the other hand, if you use the law of attraction for its intended purposes, which is making your life better, then you start focusing on, you know what, I really like these things, I really like that. One thing I do is I have something called a book of proof, where every day I write down things I saw or did that made me really, really happy. You could focus it on abundance. Like if you want to become richer, you can write down, today I found a quarter. Yeah, literally something like that. Something as simple as, today I saw someone who was rich. Or if you want to be more of a baddie, it's like, I saw a girl who had the coolest outfit. She was doing her thing. When you do exercises like this, it forces you to be more positive and gravitates towards the things that you want in your life, which means that they will come into your life. It literally reprograms your brain to use the law of attraction to your benefit, which can literally make you attract anything that you want. If you're constantly focusing on all of the things that are hindering you from getting what you want, like all of the red flags that you don't want in your life from people, or I don't want to dress like this, I don't want people to put me in a box, I don't want people to do this, I don't want people to think I'm not cool, I want to be able to do my own thing, then you're going to see more of that. You're going to see more of that like negativity pull towards you, because that's what you're focusing on. But on the other hand, if you start being like, oh, you know what, I've seen this girl who does whatever she wants, she dresses however she wants, she doesn't take no for an answer, she's gonna do whatever she wants, then you're essentially saying, it's possible and it's not that hard. I spotted it, which means it exists, which means it's not that hard. Your nervous system will make everything impossible for you if it thinks that it's hard to get. And if you're constantly picking up red flags and like, this is going to be a hindrance, this is going to be a hindrance, your body is going to be like, okay, we're not going to go there. We're not going to try out the things that we truly want to try out and do, because it seems like it's going to put a lot of stress on us. So we're not going to do that. This is actually essentially a lot of times the reason why a lot of people hold on to a lot of weight. I'm not saying necessarily that's everything. Weight is a sensitive issue, so sometimes it can be other things. But a lot of the time it's actually because you have an energetic hold on to the fact that gaining or losing weight or becoming a baddie, it needs to be hard. Like when you see that, oh, you know what, all of these girls have plastic surgery, I don't have the money for plastic surgery, which means that I can't be hot. Or, oh, it's so hard to change my diet to become a better version of myself. Always focusing on all of this stuff that's hard. It's so hard. Oh, it's so hard. That's going to program your brain to be like, oh, it's hard, I don't want to do that. That's a threat. It's a threat to my environment. So we're not going to do that. And whenever you do it, we're not going to react nicely to it. You have to literally brainwash your brain to believe that whatever it is you want to do, it's actually easy to do, because your brain is going to be like, oh yeah, it's easy, I'm going to do it anyways. That essentially goes back to the whole thing I talked about perfection. Like if you're constantly focused on perfection, your nervous system will get extremely hijacked if you're focusing on being perfect, because perfection doesn't exist. So your body is aiming for something that doesn't exist, which means that you will literally feel like you are on edge all the time, because you're trying to attain something that doesn't exist, but your body wants to attain it, which means that you're not even going to gravitate towards becoming a better version of yourself, because you've made yourself believe that a better version of yourself means being a perfect version of yourself. You're already perfect. You're already perfect, girl. You just need to let yourself do things. Which leads me to the next point, which is get it out there. Act on the things that you want instead of constantly trying to make it perfect. It is much more about going out there, putting something out there, acting on things, instead of it being about you making it perfect, making it the right thing before you put it out there. When I went and did my hair, I could have been like, oh my God, now my hair doesn't look very good anymore. Oh my God, it's not going to be perfect. I have to wait till I get a wig, or I have to wait till whatever. Like, No. My channel, I need to tend to my channel. My channel's my baby. I gotta show up every day. Even if I feel like, ooh, maybe I have a bad hair day, or maybe I have a bad, oh, maybe I don't want to do something too much today. Consistency will always win over perfection. Consistency will always win over making sure everything is the right thing. Consistency is gonna win. If you have like a minor thing like, oh, I don't know if I want to put it out there because I'm afraid how people are gonna react to it. People will react to it. Okay, put it out there anyway. If you feel that tuck in your stomach, that whatever it is you're doing, if you want to wear this, if you want to wear that, if you want to do this, if you want to do that, you get that tuck in your stomach. Can I really do this? Yes, you can. But your body doesn't want you to go there because it's somewhere you haven't been before. And if you don't get up and build that consistency of saying, okay, we're going to put it out there, even if it's not perfect, you will sit back with a lot of remorse in the fact that you didn't start sooner. And there's no perfect place to start. Today is a perfect place to start. If you want to be an influencer, film a video. It's that easy. It's not about you having everything right, making sure that your house is perfect. It's just about you showing up. And you will never build the skills of actually becoming a good communicator, becoming a good influencer, whatever it is you want to be. You cannot build those skills by just one day it being winged. That's what we believe so much in today, because we have instant gratification through social media. We can see how someone transformed from one look to another look in like instantly, while we don't really realize that it's a process, which truly robs us of embracing the middle stages and becoming the cooler version of ourselves, because we're constantly just trying to like be the version who's perfect. Show up even if it's not perfect. Show up, do it. Sing badly. If you want to learn how to sing, sing badly. If you want to learn how to swim, swim badly. The same way that when you're a kid, you're learning how to ride a bike. You're not going to be riding a bike if you do not get on the bike. If you are trying to get a driver's license, are you going to be saying, I don't want to go take the test unless I know I'm perfect. I don't want to go sit in the car unless I know I can drive the car perfectly. That's not how things work. And that is something that will definitely hold you back massively when it comes to stepping into baddie energy, becoming the hottest version of yourself mentally. Because when you're hot, you're on fire. And on fire is audacity. It's having the audacity to be so over the top that whatever it is you do, people think it's just intentional. If you're just going out there, putting yourself out there, people are going to be like, it's just intentional. And if the people from your home or whatever thinks, oh, you're doing too much, are they where you want to go? Are they the people that you look up to, who you want to be? It's usually only the people that truly hate on you that are trying to put you down. It's not the people that are doing better than you. They want you to shine. They don't care if you mess up. They just want you to continue. People are actually just waiting to see if you fail. That's why they try to like talk you into not doing too much, because they don't like the fact that you have the guts to put yourself out there, because the guts are actually what's going to take you where you need to go. Confidence matters much more than being perfect, than being the perfect version of something. Having the guts, having the confidence, that's what matters. That's what being a baddie truly is. Putting yourself out there, letting yourself exist even though things might not be perfect. Showing up. Consistency always wins over perfectionism. And I think this is what we're gonna leave it with today. Things you need to do to become mentally hot. And I hope you liked it, and understand that you are perfect as you are. You deserve the world. You can get whatever it is you want. If you desire it, it's because it is meant for you. And tell me in the comment section down below, what is something that you've been afraid of doing that you want to do? Let's chat about it. Love you guys.